Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for Friday, March 17th. Wow, halfway through the month of March. Time just sure does move fast these days, it seems. And then sometimes, like when it comes to legal ramifications for illegal deeds, it seems to move kind of slow. Anyways, thank you very, very much for being here. I'm so grateful that you've decided to join me. I so appreciate, the views, your comments, subscribers are all amazing. To my established ones, I adore you. And to my new ones, welcome. Thank you so very much for being here. To my donors, thank you to you. It always surprises me. It always humbles me. And I'm always so, so grateful when those sort of surprise donations showed up. It's wonderful. Thank you. Just to let you know, I am booking. I have a couple openings for this coming week. I have some openings the following week, and then I've got a lot of availability the first week of April. So if you're looking for a personal reading, simply in the drop box below, in the description box below, you will find an email, soulprint888@gmail.com. Feel free to send me a quick message just saying you're looking for reading information, and I will send what you need to know back. So thank you so much. Alrighty, here we go. I know I just recently took a look at Fox, and I know that I said, there's gonna be more stuff coming out. It's not gonna look good, and yeah, that seems to be what's going on. More and more stuff coming out, certainly about emails from Tucker Carlson to his cohorts, I guess, and some of the things that Rupert Murdoch has said. It's not good. It's nice to know, though, that Tucker Carlson passionately hates Trump. Anyways, I want to take a look at them and see what's going on. Just a quick one. And this is also going to be a card and pendulum reading, just because the cards are for an overall view, and then the pendulum is for some more specific yes no questions. All right. Thank you for all the compliments on my red hair. My hair actually is an auburn color, but this lighting does certainly intensify it. And I really do like the dramatic red, but um, and on my camera I look ghost white, but on the replay I seem to not look quite that white. So I'll stop obsessing about how I look and know that you just love and accept me the way I am. And so here we go. Let's take a look at Fox and what is coming down the road for them. This is the thing I'm being told, that when you get caught doing something that is just really illegal, really not cool, really beyond the pale, and people start looking into it, what happens is that they start looking into a whole lot more. And, that is, where the trouble comes, right? Like Bertha Santos, she's another one, right? There were a few lies, there was things that weren't adding up, and the next thing you know, there's like full-on investigations going on. And the more you dig, the more you find. And that seems to be part of what's going on with Fox. I almost want to say it's like they kicked over, I don't know, a can of worms or something. And now everybody is looking in all kinds of directions. And that's not going to bode well for them. It's really, really not. But here we go. Let's take a look. Certainly, I don't think that Tucker Carlson is impressing very many people with his whitewashed, it was really just a tourist visit. And of course, I don't know. Don't these people understand? Oh, they remember it was COVID. There were no tourist visits. The whole thing was shut down to the public. But fine. It's not going over well, but apparently one of the more recent polls said that you've got about 60% of Republicans who don't believe that Biden is the president. They just still don't believe it. The upside to that, though, is that the younger Republicans, the better educated Republicans, are not falling for it at all. It again seems to be the older, kind of set in their ways, I'm fearful of everything Republicans that are really hanging on to the disinformation. So, and you know what? This is the deal. You don't need 60% of those Republicans voting. You need 40% or 35% or even 25% of those Republicans who are voting non-Republican because they see through it and they're probably getting really sick and tired of it. So let's take a peek and see how Fox is going to fare. More quick shuffle and we're good. Fox trajectory business. Fox trajectory business. Fox trajectory business. Sorry, I had to narrow down what area I was trying to look at. Hey, here we go. What do we know? So Fox still believes that they are in a position of tremendous power. And in some ways, they're not wrong, are they? I mean, they still have their viewers, they still have their advertisers, and you know the people who are viewing Fox are not threatening to boycott the advertisers. So I guess it's up to everybody else to do that. But for right now, even though it doesn't sort of look like it, they still believe that they have kind of like a way out, right? They still believe that they are going to be able to move through this. So part of the way they're doing that is by continuing to tell stories. They're continuing to steal the truth and twist it. And so for those viewers of Fox, and it's something like, I guess, 2 million people a night watch Tucker Carlson. And I think it's close to that number for the Laura Ingrams or whatever her name is, and Sean Hannity. But there's this continual theft of the truth. And that seems to be what they're counting on. Their strength is in keeping people upset and wound up and emotionally stressed out and angry. That is what they do. And frankly, they've gotten pretty darn good at it or better at it, because even when the truth is, flashed from the tallest building, like the, January 6th televised hearings, it gets twisted. They don't view it. There's a really different slant on it. But they do what they do because they understand that the more frightened and the more angry people are, the more they are going to tune in, because they're looking for, it's funny because it's not even that they're looking for reassurance that things are going to be okay. What they're actually looking for is reinforcement of the beliefs they have that things are as terrible as they fear they are. I don't understand the logic. For those of us who live in light, for those of us who stay in a place or work very hard to stay in a place of positive energy and rejecting those lower vibrations, it's really hard to sort of understand why somebody would willingly choose to spend their time being angry and frightened. But apparently that's a choice they're making. The thing is that, Fox has been incredibly fortunate um, in their business model. They're successful. And Rupert Murdoch, I mean, God Almighty, he's got money coming in from all directions, doesn't he? And all of it is about sort of shady, scandalous reporting and that kind of thing, as near as I can figure, anyways. The problem is, Fox seems to be in a position now where they're looking at previous behaviors. Okay, so they're looking at the way they handled the whole election's been stolen and the voting machines are rigged, and neither of those are true. But they're focusing on that these days, and there's sort of this sort of question of like, I wonder if we've actually gone too far this time. Like, I wonder if we're going to be able to backpedal, because the reality is that Dominion, and I guess Smartmatic, although we haven't heard about as much about them, um, they're building their case, and they're building their case not only legally, but they're building their case in the public arena as things get released. Don't be surprised if in the next little while, excuse me, they're sort of rumbling of Fox trying to make a settlement. The problem is that in order for Fox to do that, they're almost going to have to admit that they were wrong, and that what they did was wrong, and that what they did was lying. But I think as it creeps closer and closer, you're going to see a lot of sort of back and forth. I do not believe that Dominion is going to settle. I don't think they're interested in settling. I think what they're interested in doing is dragging their butts into court and exposing them. It's time for the people who continue to be naive, who continue to stay in that sort of almost childlike fantasy of what reality is and isn't. It's time for them to start to see the truth. Will they? Probably not. But you know what? 5% or 10% of those people out there, that 60% who go, hey, wait a minute, this isn't making any sense anymore. Like, welcome to reality, people. Come join the rest of us. Sorry. So as far as Fox goes, this is the unfortunate thing, okay? There's going to be a slump. They've already experienced that slump. When they called the election in 2020 for Biden, or Arizona for Biden. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't want to use the phrase dark money, but it feels as if there's a lot of shady stuff sort of going on, and certainly a real fleeting relationship with truth, honesty, integrity, and transparency. Fox is going to pay a price, and it's going to hurt them. But the reality is unfortunately, they are going to continue they're going to continue as they are. There's going to be a slight moderating. I guess they've already tried to do that to some degrees, and then you get, Tucker Carlson trying to convince the world that January 6th was just a tourist visit. That's not going over very well, by the way. But even with that, they are going to be able to ride this out. They're going to have to do some juggling and some storytelling. It's going to hit them in the pocket. I do believe that they are going to lose this defamation suit, and I do believe they're going to be awarded a significant amount of, or have to pay out a significant amount of money. If we look at like Alex Jones and the kind of fines he got hit with, and he is a small potato, tiny potatoes, media entity compared to Fox. It's going to hurt them, but it's not going to kill them. They're going to continue to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more defensive. The hosts are going to be a little bit more quick to, not just sit there and nod their heads and let people say stupid things. Okay, I just gotta stop for a second. I don't know if you all have heard, but when Cyndy Powell was on Fox spouting off this nonsense about this source who was telling her all the information about Dominion, the hosts at Fox knew who her source was. All right. Apparently, the woman who was feeding this information to Cyndy Powell, to Cyndy Powell, and she was just repeating it like spewing mud out of her mouth. This woman apparently claims that she was in a car accident in the 90s and her head got decapitated, but not her physical head, but her spiritual head, her energy head. And ever since then, she has been able to have conversations with the wind. And the wind tells her these things. And the wind told her about what was going on at Dominion and how the machines were flipping the votes, which we all know is not real and not true. But you have a woman who thinks that her head has been psychically decapitated and she's getting her information from the wind. And Cyndy Powell believes that this is good enough to go on national television and spew this crap. A lot of the lawyers connected to this are going to pay a price for this. They just are. And a lot of the lawyers are going to actually find themselves a little bit what you call in the poorhouse. Because what they were doing was not only just so wrong on so many levels, they were like forcing people. They were repetitive, and they were forcing people to listen to this garbage. And a lot of people out there who didn't like their election results believed them. And the deluded thinking continues. They got them all wound up. They got them good and angry. They believed that, what they thought, what they heard, what was being reinforced on television every night was accurate. And they were part of this new beginning, this new America that was going to take the country back into the Stone Ages. So, from what I can see, Fox is going to survive. But I think they're going to lose some of their shine, is I think what's actually going to happen. And they're going to start losing viewers because one of two things. Either they're going to actually start telling the truth, which is going to really upset those people who think that they already were being told the truth. Two, they're going to lose viewers because as they moderate to try to stay somewhere within the realm of, objective reality, they're going to lose viewers because viewers are going to be annoyed with them because they're not extreme enough. So they are going to take a hit. All right, let's ask the pendulum here some questions. So as you know, side to side means it's ready to talk. Show me yes. Back and forth is yes and no. And it will go in a circle. Okay. Is Dominion going to win their defamation case against Fox Media Corp or News Corp or whatever, and the people there named? So yes, they are. Is Fox going to end up paying a significant amount in damages? Wow, have you seen what this thing's doing? It's like glitching. That's that again. Is Fox going to end up paying a significant amount in damages to Dominion? Okay. Are some of the other people named in the lawsuit also going to suffer a financial impact? Okay, and that's a strong yes. Overall, is Fox going to are the viewers of Fox going to, even some of them, even 5% or 10%, are they going to start kind of reading between the lines of crap and start to see how things are not adding up and how the truth that they've been ignoring makes more sense? Okay, that's a really, really strong yes. Okay, so you've got some people who are finally going to say, enough, right? Like, there's too many things about Fox stories that just don't add up. And, they tell this stuff. And then when they get in trouble, oh, well, it's just an opinion show. It's just my opinion. We're not actually telling you news. Or they go further and they say things like, well, I don't know who would believe me. And then, of course, you have all the information coming out about what they really know and thought around Trump and the insurrection, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, this horrendous, made up, complete lie of a scandal with, the votes. I have a feeling that Rupert Murdoch is going to be able to shovel, a lot of the blame, or if not the blame, kind of the repercussions onto other upper management executives. Is that accurate? Yeah. So what he's going to do, Rupert Murdoch then is going to be running around looking for scapegoats. So all of a sudden it's going to be, I don't know, like the CEO of this division or, whatever, that was really in the wrong and should have stopped this but didn't. Is that part of the Murdoch strategy to sort of find those scapegoats and blame them? Right. Because is that going to create enough of a deflection that they will be able to hang on to their audience or most of their audience? Yeah. Right. So it's going to be, okay, yeah, like I'm the head of the company and the buck stops with me, but I really have no control out of what all these other people do, except I have total control because I micromanage everything. Is the resolution of this lawsuit, is it going to actually have a chilling effect on this kind of propaganda that is being distributed as news? Okay, so other places are going to start to be a little bit more careful, and that's always comforting and reassuring. It seems like on a regular basis, this whitewashing of the insurrection seems to be blowing up in Hannity's face. Like every time he releases one of these, what is it, search for transparency, or I don't know what he's calling it. Is that going to continue? Like, is he going to continue to be sort of a laughing stock because of the way he's twisting everything? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know who I was watching. Legal Mind, I think, or a commentator somewhere. And they were saying, so this is kind of the thing, right? They've whitewashed it to the point where, you have people being shown quietly walking out of the building or quietly walking into the building. And this person said it's like this. It's like somebody being charged with murdering their family. And then in their defense, they show, video of family vacations and saying, look, I was an amazing husband, father, whatever. And so therefore I didn't murder them. One doesn't negate the other. And he's just going to end up looking more and more foolish. And frankly, that's going to look good on him. Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else pressing that I want to sort of ask about this video. Is Trump, in fact, I'm not going to ask the pendulum this, I'm going to ask Spirit. How is Trump reacting to all of the information that's coming out about how everybody at Fox, all the hosts think he's a laughingstock spirit? How is Trump reacting to the truth about what was going on behind the scenes at Fox? So publicly, Trump is doing the attaboy, Tucker, what a great guy you are. Thank you for bringing the truth out, et cetera, et cetera. He is seething on the inside. First of all, him and Rupert Murdoch apparently have been friends for like a really long time. And so he is viewing this as a real betrayal, right? I mean, as far as he's concerned, Rupert Murdoch should either fight this or quietly take the hit or pay it off, but get it out of the spotlight because it's not looking good for Trump. And so he's really angry with the people at Fox. He may uh, publicly present a very, very different face, but privately, wow, it is like rage because every time something comes out, he looks more and more foolish. He looks like more and more of an out of control, uninformed, ill-informed, living in delusional land person. And so, um, ultimately, and so, I mean, I guess this is the final question, Spirit. If Trump actually manages to snag that um, the presidential nomination for the Republican Party, is Fox going to step back into line and toe the line? And they're saying yes, he will, but it's but they're still saying there's stuff, something's going on that we can't yet see, and certainly if he gets a nomination, he's not going to win. But I energetically am still not getting real clarity about the fact that he's actually going to get the nomination. So we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so very much for being here. Do something fun for yourself on the weekend. Take care, recharge a little bit. And until next time, take care, be well, and we'll see you really, really soon. Bye-bye.